Hey guys, welcome back. It's springtime, not just the weather, which is actually kind of nice today. Got a 2011 Nissan Frontier, has a broken leaf spring in the back. We're going to do a set of springs. Well, hopefully, not hopefully, this is one of those things where the book time is usually wrong, because the book time was based on when everything was new and the bolts came apart and in a perfect world. And unfortunately, if anybody knows leaf springs and anything, just like most things under the truck, and especially in the Northeast, it gets beat up on. Kind of like doing a rotted spring shackle on a Dodge that never come apart. So we're gonna keep our fingers crossed. It is relatively new. It's been well taken care of. It broke a leaf spring. I got two of them. We're gonna do one. We're gonna do two. Otherwise, we're going to go from sitting this way to sitting this way. So we're going to do both of them. OE springs right from the dealer. And let's hope it comes apart. This is one of them jobs we got to work a little close to the ground, because well, we're going to hang the rear end, support the truck, and a little dangerous to do in the air. So we're going to work a little close to the ground with some jack stands. Get everything loosened up, and we'll support the rear end, raise the truck a bit, just enough to clear the leaf springs coming out. And first we'll get these tires off and get everything juiced up with some penetrating oil and hope for the best. We will not pull that bolt out of the shock until it's supported. I just want to make sure everything is going to come apart. Don't get nervous. Look at that, there's one. Look at this. Wow. Wow. Look at that. It's kind of awesome. It's not over yet. Aha. Oh, there you go. Oh, that's nice. That sucks. Oh. Alright, well, for those of you that might have missed my other video on the, ready? Ta-da! The mini ductor venom. Here's another opportunity to use it. I'll put a link in the description. This tool is awesome. I don't know if you guys can see how fast that thing starts smoking. It doesn't help that I put penetrating oil on there, but and if I cook the bushing a little bit, I'm not too concerned. Obviously, there's new springs going in it. This should stink out the shop for the day. Let's try this baby again. And again, you think I'd have my tools ready. There we go. Let's try it out. Bob's your uncle. That's what I'm talking about. Easy as that. I gotta tell you, I love that tool. It definitely saves a little bit of time. So if you have the wherewithal to acquire it, I highly recommend it. It sets up faster than torches. It saves you from having to blow flame in a spot where you normally shouldn't be blowing a flame. So a little pricey, but like I said, the first time you gotta use it, you'll smile. That one's loose. Whoa. Imagine that. Things might actually go my way today. Except for that bolt. Right there. Well, option 2 is we can pull it down with the spring shackle and do it on the bench. Well, I think what we're going to do is, let's see if I get a light in here. Help this baby out. There you go. Let me see if I can loosen up that top nut on the shackle. Maybe take the shackle out with the spring. I'm not quite sure yet. Which is also kind of stuck, so I get to use my mini inductor again. Hopefully one of these 2 bolts comes out. It's always got to be one. And of course I don't have the right socket hooked up. I don't want to get that too hot because I don't have that bushing. I don't want to cook it. Woohoo. Now, does this one move? There we go. Oh, look at that. My mistake. Apparently that bolt is attached to the bracket. It doesn't come out. Aha! Now that makes more sense. Well, there you go. There you go, kids. Guess I should have read it first. I just assumed that bolt would come out, but it doesn't. It has to come out with the bracket. I'm beating on it for nothing. Okay, time to move on. Woohoo! This bolt comes out. Definitely want to make sure the tension is in your favor, or should I say the tension is released. You don't want to be forcing one of these out and have it spring up and hit you in the teeth. I only had that happen once. Cutting a catalytic converter out, fell down, hit me in the mouth, broke my tooth. I remember that one. That sucked. Okay. Switch sockets. That's one. Real quick, you also want to make sure, well, one, it's the right spring. I'd be hard pressed from the dealer to think that the spring is wrong, but you know, it's always a possibility. New spring is here. A couple of things you also want to look at, identify it along with making sure it's the right spring. Identify the front and back of the spring. On this one we have 2 clamps right there. There's an extra clamp on that bottom, like a helper kind of spring on that lower one. The front half doesn't have it, it just has the single clamp. Kind of like right here, we have a single clamp here. We have the double clamp in the back. If you're really not sure, if there's no other markers, measure from the center bolt to the center of the bushing here. Center bolt to there. Make sure you identify front and back before you drag it out from underneath the vehicle and spin it around. And then you got to go and measure the other side. You can also do that too, just make sure. And interestingly enough, the new spring, let's see if I can spin this over, does not come with the rear bushing. They want you to reuse the spring bushing. Sorry, I had to think about that for a second. They want you to reuse it. They do give you one in the front. Obviously that's a Preston one, but the back end is a, it kind of just slides out. So as you can see, it's still on the shackle. So kind of weird, but that's the way they want it. Let's get this thing set up. Let's clean everything up, get some lubricant on some threaded parts, and get this baby back together. I got more work to do. Alright, new spring's ready to go in. I think had I realized that bushing didn't come with a new one, I might have picked up a new one from the dealer, but this one does seem okay. So we're gonna let it fly. Quickly getting warm in here. I put some corrosion inhibitor on everything. Nicey nice. And that's that. Got some new bolts back in. When I first started out in the trade, I used to do this stuff on school buses. That was horrible. I'm learning everything apart. I guess advantage to learning the hard way, right? Sometimes these U-bolts will spread on you when you pop them out. Just common sense, put them in a vise, you can crush them back down. Just be ginger, you don't bang up the threads. Another reason too, real quick, if you're gonna do both of these, I like to do one at a time. You pull both, there's a good chance that rear end's gonna shift on you. That'll definitely get some time unnecessarily. Because the only thing that really holds this rear end in place is these leaf springs with that centering bolt and the U-bolts and such. There's no links on here to hold it in place. So keep that in mind. Do one at a time. My tip of the day. Here's what would help if I had somebody working the lift. Not that bad, though. It's pretty close. We could come down a smidge. Like that. That's a smidge right there. Obviously you want to walk these down. We'll go over tighten on one side before the other. Torque the spec. Right there. A couple of ooga-doogas. Couple of ooga-doogas there. Let's go for an ooga-dooga over here. You definitely want to put the right socket on. Makes it easier to tighten up the bolt. You got the right socket on there. No, just that one. Oh, this light's gonna get right in my way. And that, my friends, is that. Other than the shock I gotta put back in, but I'm leaving it out for now because I still have to do the other side. That's a Nissan leaf spring in a nutshell. That actually went pretty well. Except for that one little thing back here with the bolts that are actually attached to the bracket. I didn't realize that. Learn something new every day. I gotta say, this is probably the first set of leaf springs I've done in a while. It's just not as common as it used to be. In fact, most of the leaf springs that used to be around here are closed up. It's not like the old days we used to re-arc springs and they used to build them, custom build them. You can add a thicker leaf, whatever you want to do. Most of those shops are gone. And ironically, these were actually cheaper through the OE than they were in the aftermarket. So, food for thought. Guys, I hope you liked the video. I'm going to finish up the other side. I'm going to put the shocks back in when I'm done. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, check out my other videos. Appreciate you watching, and be well. Thank you.